What's up, everyone? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron, and if it's your first time seeing one of my videos, I'd like to welcome you to my channel where we chill and talk about all things music, everything that we love or hate. And if there's anything you want me to review, leave a comment below letting me know what it is. New, old, album, EP, single, whatever, and I will make it happen for you. But for today's video, we're going to be checking out the new album, A Torch in the Dark, by the metalcore band Atreyu. This is the 9th studio album from the California band. And a lot has changed since they formed in 1998. Their first 4 albums can be considered metalcore classics, with the 4th album that they released, Lead Sails and Paper Anchors, being more of an alt metal influence. It still sounded good. It was still catchy. It had some good songwriting in it, though. But then they would split up in 2011 following their next album, Congregation of the Damned. But then they would reunite again in 2014 and release 2 more albums, Long Live and In Our Wake. In Our Wake being a little bit more popular. I've heard a lot more songs off of that one. I don't think I've listened to the whole album, but admittedly, it took me a long time to get around to Long Live. Didn't hear too many songs off of it. I mean, it's not bad, but In Our Wake is just slightly better. But it's just a lot more alt metal. It's a lot more mainstream sounding. And then tragedy would strike after those releases. Alex, their vocalist, would announce that he is kicking rocks, he's leaving the band, and then they would release Baptize in 2021. And man, his absence was just, it was huge. It left a huge space. There was a lot of criticism around the album, myself included. I gave the album it was a 4.2 out of 10, but I always have hope, thinking that maybe they're just going to be adjusting to this loss of one of their founding members and vocalists. So yeah, maybe they just needed to work through some stuff. Maybe the album sucks and the next one they put out would be better. So yeah, here we are checking this one out now. The album was released in 3 parts. They dropped it in like 3 different EP kind of things. Sort of like what the Acacia Strain did in 2020 with their album Slow Decay, which was absolutely brilliant marketing. The name of the album, everything just worked out. So why not do the same thing? Again, the first track on the EP, and I guess the album is which is sort of heavy, also sort of not. It feels very basic, especially the chorus, but I do dig the verses mostly for the mix. I mean, it just sounds so good. The breakdown was very boring, and everything changes on the following track, Death or Glory, that has a really stompy riff. It's very arena rock sounding, kind of Nickelback inspired. The lyrics are absolutely awful. It was really hard for me to get into this one. It features Sierra Deaton, who sounds absolutely beautiful, but I feel like this track is beyond saving, and things don't really get much better on the following track, Forevermore, which sounds like the next Taylor Swift album. This super melodramatic piece is just that. The vocals are way over the top in the chorus, and the cello fails to add any emotion or any depth to this song. And then we have the song Come Down, which made me laugh with its opening line, a super edgy atmosphere, the fat bass, and sort of rap style vocals just aren't it. I'll admit that this is the one song though that grew on me over time. I mean, the chorus is pretty catchy and it doesn't sound absolutely terrible in comparison to these other songs, but outside of that space, I mean, it just isn't good. It also ends the first EP, and then the second EP, which is titled The Moment You Find Your Flame, kicks off with the song Good Enough. And this song is definitely an improvement. The intro absolutely slaps. However, the verses are a little dull. The chorus does encourage you to sing along, though, with okay sounding lyrics, and it flows directly into the next song, Immortal, that has a similar sound to it instrumentally, so it has a good, continuation kind of flow. The verse has a really good vocal melody to it with a kind of a weird vocal effect that I feel like holds it back some. The chorus is absolutely butt rock, brings me back to that Nickelback kind of sound. The breakdown is it's not too bad. I actually enjoyed the breakdown, and it goes into the next song, Gone, which is the 3rd song off of this EP, and it has like this tiny bit of a pop punk influence to it in the intro that got me really excited, and I was hoping that it would continue through this song, but It doesn't. Instead, it sounds like a 2010s inspired rock anthem that has a really underwhelming hook in the chorus with empty verses. The breakdown follows the same formula as all their songs, just being super overproduced with some screaming going on. The exact same thing they've done in all the songs. And then we have the song I Don't Want to Die, which is probably the worst song I feel like this band has ever come out with. It's just another super melodramatic cut. And at this point, I feel like I'm listening to like a Shine Down or Hinder cover band at this point. It's just so bad, which brings us to the end of this EP and on to the next one, aka the rest of the album, sounding exactly the same as the other songs. Drowning comes in heavy with a very drummy verse, and it's about being overwhelmed in life with a lot of metaphors to drowning, and it has undertow in the hook of the chorus, which is just the most overused hook and word in almost every single song that has the same exact kind of subject matter. It's just, this is just like a rinse repeat of every song it's the same thing as everybody else right now. Good/Evil has a really synth heavy, almost 9 Inch Nails inspired kind of sound to it. It's pretty cringy though. The music is so dated and the one-liners are absolutely impossible for me to take seriously. Then we have the mosh inducing song Capital F, which is as cliche as it gets about how horrible the world is now. And we're all just capital F'd at this point. It's probably not as bad as the closing track though, Watch Me Burn, which is exactly what you would think it is. It's radio rock. Here I am doing the best I can and people hate me, so watch me burn kind of thing. And it's just, this album just follows every single cliche and trope and rinse and repeat formula that you can find on basically any type of radio rock station. I can absolutely see why they released this song in 3 to 4 song EPs at a time instead of just giving you the whole album, because it was really tough for me to sit here and listen to this entire thing all the way through. You would need to take this at 3 to 4 song increments because you're gonna need a break, because it's gonna be really rough on your mental health, that's for sure. Almost every song on this is overproduced. It follows the same formula. It sounds exactly like anything else you would hear. Everything is completely unoriginal, right down to the lyrics and the emotion. But the worst thing about this is that I feel like this album takes itself so seriously, especially with the slower songs and the closing track, Watch Me Burn. It feels like they think they're doing something different out of the ordinary, something unique, which makes it even more cringy to me, at least. I don't know. This whole album is just a run-of-the-mill, super dull, very uninspiring. It definitely felt like a step back from Baptism, mostly because I feel like by this point, they should have this a little bit more figured out. In terms of losing like one of their vocalists and a songwriter who helped them stay unique and relevant and sound like Atreyu. But now it feels like they're just kind of leaning into it more, you know, like, hey, we can get money if we just sound like all these other arena rock bands that, you know, just don't really sound like anything else. They don't sound like themselves at all. So yeah, I feel like they're leaning into it. So with all that said, I gotta give A Torch in the Dark by Atreyu a 3.2 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. I'm sure I'm not the only person who is let down by this album. So leave a comment below letting me know what you thought, what you rate it, what your favorite song is. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. It helps out so much with YouTube's algorithm. And if you want to continue seeing my videos, giving this video a like is a way to help YouTube continue to suggest me in your recommended section. And if you want to help support me and my channel, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. Doing any of that stuff just helps me out tremendously, and I appreciate it more than you guys could ever imagine. I appreciate you more than you could ever imagine, even if you completely disagree with me. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me just sit here and talk about music, and I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time. I was trapped in ignorant, kid relying on my parents' said to save me.